All right, great.
Thank you.
Good to go, Daichi?
Yes, sir.
All right, good evening, everyone. It's so great to have so many people on this Zoom call. We have 120 individuals on this call, and for us, that makes us very excited. That means that there's a lot of excitement and questions that are coming into the new school year. So welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Ben Sir. I'm the proud principal of Dwight Morrow High School. Today, I have some panelists with me. The first individual that I would like to introduce is one of my supervisors, Ms. Seitel.
Hi, good evening, everybody. This is really exciting. Applaud you already.
And then next we have Mrs. Manchi. And we'll be joined in a little bit by Mr. Joseph Armental, who is our athletic director and who would also like to share some information with you as well as meet you. So again, welcome. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. We would first like to welcome our freshmen and our freshman parents and guardians. Welcome to Dwight Morrow High School. Welcome to the Maroon Raider family. You'll hear a lot of the language that we use tonight and throughout this school year is that we are one family. We are a Raider family, and once you're a Raider, you are always a Raider. So with that, welcome. Let's get into the meat of the presentation. Ms. Seitel.
Thank you so much for joining us, as Mr. Suro said, and it really is quite exciting. Let me see if I can change this. So I'm trying to move the presentation. There we go. Okay, so, we really, especially during the pandemic, that the role of caring for one another as a community, not just caring about yourself and your own well-being, but worrying about others became a prominent feature of all of us around the world. And it was no more true than at the Dwight Morrow High School, where we valued connectedness, we valued community, and we do value high expectations for everyone, not just for our students, but for our faculty and staff as well. And what we've learned is we're here not only to learn, grow, and excel and communicate, but really to care about each other. And that's how we are going to make ourselves better and how we're going to grow. And we are here for you. And the fact that you are here with us tonight is really proof of that.
Absolutely. We have a good amount of information to present tonight. We have opened up the chat feature. So if you have any questions that you'd like us to answer at the end of the presentation, we will do so. So go right ahead. And if you have anything that you'd like to ask, please add it to the chat. A lot of information will be covered during the presentation, but if there is something that we missed, we'd be happy to answer that for you. So we have a pretty extensive agenda here. I'm not going to go through every single point, but I do want to let you know that we're going to talk a little bit about the fall. We're going to talk about expectations for parents and students, some things to look out for when it comes to scheduling and moving forward with coming back onto campus, and then giving you some information about some of the resources we have and some sports information as well.
Okay.
So the parent portal is very, very, very important. Genesis is the data warehouse that we use for the district, and that's where we keep all of the information that we have for students, for their parents and guardians, for grades, scheduling, and the like. It's very important that parents have access to the Genesis parent portal. If you don't have access now, please send an email to me at bsuro@epsd.org. This presentation is being recorded, and some of the email addresses will be repeated throughout the presentation, so you don't have to worry about rushing to write this down. But if you do have any concerns when it comes to parent portal for Genesis, reach out to me and I can try to get you the assistance that you need as soon as possible. It's important because there's some very time-sensitive forms there that parents need to read and review on their own and with their child before they can unlock other features of Genesis. So I urge you, if you have access to the parent portal, to go in, to complete the forms that you need to do, to share the information that you have there with your child, and that way you can have full functionality to Genesis. It's important to keep on top of it. You can access all of your child's information there. And again, just please make sure that you have access to the parent portal and you're accessing it regularly.
I'll just add that our staff, all of the people we're here to serve you. So don't feel uncomfortable about calling and saying, I've forgotten, I don't know how to do this. Even, I don't know, we're having Miss Castellanos is doing the next presentation in Spanish, but certainly we welcome our Spanish speakers on this call as well. And if you have questions, we have people in our office who can help you, Ms. Torres and Ms. Feliz.
And to add on to that, and thank you, Ms. Seitel, we monitor our email all the time. We're sending emails all the time. So if you do reach out to me or any of my team, you can expect a pretty quick response when it comes to email. We're here for you, and communication is important to us. So just like I said, Genesis Parent Portal is important. You can see that in the middle picture there, that is what the login information looks like. If you have any trouble trying to find out where some of these things are, it might be a good idea to go to epsd.org, which is the district website, and then pull down the menu, and you'll have access to a tremendous amount of information for the district. And one of those links is going to be for the Genesis Parent Portal. So once you click that link, it'll take you to the login screen. You'll log in, and then once you're in, you're going to have access to forms that you need to look over and sign off on.
Okay. So let me just move this out of the way so I can see a little bit. I just want to reiterate what Mr. Suro said, and we're all learning how to use various technologies. So sometimes it looks like, I don't know where to go with this. If you just play with it for a while, and I say noodle around, you'll get used to it and you'll discover things on your own. But certainly the moment you feel frustration or you feel that it's not easy to navigate, get in touch with us. We're there to support, as Mr. Suro said. All right, Mr. Suro?
Sure. So some important information to follow that up. The first day of school is September 2nd. The 2021-2022 calendar is on our website. So again, once you go to epsd.org and you pull down the menu, you'll see on the very top left-hand corner school calendar, and you'll be able to download a PDF of the school calendar for this particular year. It's a lot to put up. It's a very big slide, and we didn't want to put that up because it could be a little overwhelming. So take the time to go to epsd.org and take a look at the calendar. If you are in need of a laptop, please reach out to one of my administrative assistants. Her name is Miss Bibi, and her email is there. And again, remember, this is being recorded. It'll be posted tomorrow so you can review it and get the contact information that you may need. And she's the person that you can send requests for laptops. So most of our students from 10 to 12 have their laptops already. We're really looking at freshmen coming in, out of district freshmen coming in, and we want to be able to provide you with a one-on-one laptop, a MacBook that you can use and take home for your learning. We learned how important having technology is over the last year and a half, and we want to make sure that our freshmen coming in have the opportunity to have district laptops and are able to interact with their teachers in person, and when the need arises, virtually. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. So if you need a laptop, please reach out to Ms. Isahak. She'll be glad to give you the information that you need so that you can pick up a laptop. We are working on freshman orientation. There's details to come. We're hoping to send out an invitation either tomorrow or Thursday. And we're hoping that we can, during a freshman orientation, provide the laptops to our students. So that way it's a little bit easier when they transition to school the next day. But please, keep track of your email. We also send stuff out through postmail, and you'll be receiving more information about freshman orientation in the next day or so. Again,
oh, sorry. I was just going to ask you, Mr. Suro, so if an upperclassman has trouble with their laptop, what's the procedure?
That's a great question. We all have trouble with our laptops and our technology. So if there is an issue, and there's undoubtedly there always is issues, even just logging into Zoom today, I had to refresh and update the application. There's no problem emailing Miss Isahak. There's no problem emailing myself, Miss Seitel, any one of us. You can reach out to email, and we will make sure that we put a tech request in, and we'll give you the steps that you need to follow to make sure that your device is updated and fixed quickly. That's a good point. Thank you, Ms. Seitel.
And also really, really remember that we all must use our EPSD email account, not our personal Google account or Yahoo, but it's EPSD. All the students must use those accounts, and certainly all of us must use those accounts.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Seitel, for that as well. Yeah, students get free Microsoft Office accounts through EPSD. And the way that we communicate with our students is through their EPSD email account. Beforehand, we had emails from Gmail, Hotmail, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it proved really difficult to make sure that everybody got the same communication in a timely way. So now over the last year and a half, especially going virtual, we've made sure that we've made a uniform decision that everybody utilize the EPSD email account. If you don't know it, you can log into Genesis and the information will be there. And it's really important, parents, also as a footnote, to make sure that your information, your contact information is also updated in Genesis. So a couple different swirling pieces right there. Again, we'll touch upon some more stuff as we go along. Now, speaking of communication, we like to communicate a lot at the high school. We send out emails, we send out texts, we send out phone calls, we put stuff on our website. If you haven't had a chance to go to our website, please take a look. It's kind of been deconstructed a little bit because we're looking towards the new year, but there's a live feed there, there's a slideshow, there's news, there's events. So take the time to take a look at that, because that's also another place where we put a lot of information. But again, communicating is something that we work really hard to do. We do it through different modalities. Again, our website is a big piece of that. And also, please follow us at Twitter. We're working on our social media prowess, and we started with Twitter about 2 years ago, and we actually have a very active feed that we're adding stuff to almost daily. So please follow us at Dwight Morrow HS, and there you'll find resources related to school. We like to put stuff related to ACTs, SATs, anything that's educational in nature and to help our community will go up on that Twitter feed as well. Now, one of the biggest concerns for all of us over the last year and a half has been safety, especially with safety when it comes to COVID. We did come back to school in May. We had a very successful return to school. We didn't have as many students as we hoped for, but we did have a very successful return. And a lot of it is because of all of the work that the district has put in to make sure that we are safe, students, staff, and anybody else who's on campus, because obviously COVID is a very real thing. So you may have heard, if you were a student and parent that was here the last few years, some of the safety measures that we had. And if not, if you're a freshman student and or parent guardian, here's what we do. So we have desk shields. We have enough shields for every single desk. We have masks, and we have masks for every single student. We utilize disinfecting wipes between periods and on desks. We are requiring that everyone in the building wear a mask, all right? Now, when it comes to masks, when it comes to distancing of desks and things of that nature, we're all very aware that the COVID landscape changes very frequently, and Governor Murphy makes a lot of changes frequently. So right now, the information I'm sharing with you is that we're prepared for the students to come back safe to school. So again, every desk has a shield. We use disinfecting wipes in between periods and during periods. We require masks, right? We also have hand sanitizers in every classroom. We have them outside of every restroom. We have them in larger areas like the gym and also the cafeteria. We are frequently reminding our staff and our students to make sure that they wash their hands thoroughly as much as possible. We have sanitizers that go, we have custodians that use mass sanitizers, which are eco-friendly substances, peroxide-based, to make sure that high traffic areas and high touch areas are sanitized regularly throughout the day. And at the end of the day, there's deep cleaning that happens in every single classroom. So with all that being said, we just want to make sure that you understand that we value your child's safety and their health. And we understand that learning can only happen when everyone feels safe and supported. So those are the measures that we've taken when it comes to COVID. And COVID is an evolving type of thing. As things change, we will work really hard to communicate with you as effectively and transparently as we can. But we want to, again, make sure that you understand that your child's health and safety is our #1 concern. Moving forward, there are some pieces of information that we would like to reiterate to students who are returning to Dwight Morrow High School, especially since everyone, I'm sorry, Ms. Seitel, can you go back?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Since everyone is returning and we've been out of the building for a while, and the things that may have been forgotten, and freshmen, here are some really important things for you to hear, and it's revolving around security and expectations. So we do have a team of security guards in our school, wonderful people, very nice people, and they help us to make sure that the building is safe and everybody is doing the things as they should be doing, getting to class, not hanging out in the hallways, and just being the best student that they can be. So a couple things that are really important to us as security staff and as administrators is we need to make sure that everyone in the building, not just students, but staff as well, are wearing their IDs and they're visible every day. We are very aware of all of the very tragic things that have happened across the nation when it comes to school, and we take that very seriously. We need to know who's in the building at all times, and a part of that is making sure that everyone is able to identify themselves when asked. And the ID is a very big part of that. So everybody will get an ID. It comes in an ID holder, and it comes with a lanyard that's a breakaway. So just in case it gets pulled, it's not going to pull you down. It'll pop, and then you can put it back together and put it around your neck. But safety, again, is huge for us, not just with COVID, but also the physical environment. And we need to make sure everyone has ID badges on at all time and it's visible. One of the other things is making sure you get to class on time. The campus is big. We have 4-minute transition time. And sometimes you're going to be moving from one end of the school to the other, and you need to make sure that you get going and get to your class on time. We've all been through COVID, we've all been through virtual learning, and we know how important instructional time is in person, how important that is. So you need to make sure as a student that you're leaving your class on time and you're getting to your other class on time, because instruction is important, and especially in the in-person setting, something that we've missed so dearly. You got to get to class on time. We do not allow food deliveries. One of the concerns that we have had in the past is students ordering food and having it delivered to school. Now, as great as that might sound, we don't allow it for a variety of reasons. And one of the big reasons is we have a contract with Pomptonian Food Service, and they offer a variety of different meals and choices for our students. And that is our food vendor. Having stuff delivered to school disrupts the academic day, also is a security issue. So a reminder to those coming back to school and those freshmen who are coming in, we do not allow delivery of food to schools, all right? Another really important piece is we have a very large campus. It's a beautiful campus, and it's very large. Students are not allowed to leave campus and come back. That is a very big safety concern for us. So once you're on campus, you are to stay on campus until dismissal, all right? Students seem to think, oh, I can run out to the store and come back, and that's not how we operate. It is very unsafe practice. And as long as we know who's on campus, they can identify themselves readily, and people are not coming in and out of campus without being regulated, we're a safe campus, and that's really important, all right? And seniors, if you're a senior, congratulations. And if you're listening to this, seniors and parents and guardians, congratulations on making your senior year. Hopefully we can be in person together and celebrate such a tremendous culmination of your educational journey together. You do have the senior parking privilege. Paperwork and permit information can be had from Coach Harris. If you're interested in getting that paperwork on the first day, come find myself or an administrator, and we can hook you up with Coach.
Okay, before we move on, I see that we're populating some questions. And as Mr. Suro said, we're going to answer all those questions, and that'll be at the end of the presentation, just a reminder. So keep, entering the questions, and we will get to them.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have phenomenal student school counselors who are really there to help our students to get to know them as individuals and their unique skills and abilities, and to help them determine what skills they need to become the best citizen and the best student they can be at the high school, and give them the guidance so that they can make decisions for post-high school learning or job or military. We have all kinds of choices that students are making, and our counselors have done an excellent job of being there for our students. So I know that their names are on the website. Ms. Drumgold has been our lead school counselor for a few years, and she is really one go-to person who everyone should know. So I think that's it about the school counselors for now, and we will go on to Mr. Soro again.
Great. So coming into high school is exciting. There's a lot of different types of experiences for you. But the one thing we want to make sure that you understand is graduation, or to graduate from Dwight Morrow High School, you have to meet New Jersey Department of Education graduation requirements. So, looking down the road, things that you'll have to remember and work with your counselor on and your parents as you go ahead and you start to look at classes in the future and course selections are the things that are located on the bottom left hand of this slide. So New Jersey wants all of their students to take 20 credits of ELA. They want all the students to take 15 credits of science, 15 credits of math, 15 credits of social studies, 15 credits of health and PE, and the rest of the stuff is there. So you need to make sure that you're aware of these things, parents and students, because when it comes to start the time to plan out your next 4 years, and the 4 years will go very fast, you're going to work with your counselor to make sure that you satisfy all of the NJDOE requirements. Now, this being said, I don't want everyone to start to feel nervous and I have to memorize this and I have to make sure I'm doing. It's always really good to be active when it comes to knowing your schedule and looking forward. But we have a tremendous group of counselors that are here for the students and the parents and guardians and will help to guide those discussions. But whether you're a freshman or a senior, this slide is important because, as I said, there are requirements for courses, and obviously we're going to make sure that all of our graduates are satisfied all of these courses here.
Okay. So Mr. Soro and I are sort of like the tag team comedy duo. I just wondered, did we miss Miss Manchi's slide, or is that upcoming?
I think, Ms. Seitel, we did miss Mrs. Manchi's slide.
Might we go back? Do you think that's a good idea?
Absolutely.
Okay, so bear with us, folks. Mrs. Manchi. I must have hit the move forward slide a little too fast. I apologize.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mrs. Manchi. I'm the nurse at Dwight Morrow. I've actually been at Dwight Morrow for over 20 years, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I worked really hard on my link to the Dwight Morrow and the Academy webpage. You really can find anything that you want on that webpage. If you have an issue, you can email me. I am very good about emails. I am very, very good about answering phone calls. You might take a message. If I'm with somebody I can't answer right away, I will be answering as soon as I possibly can. One thing I wanted to stress is if there are any students with any health conditions, allergies, asthma, things like that, please take a look at the medication part of that webpage, because I do like to have all my orders set. I have a very large school. I am very busy and I am very organized. So please get your paperwork in, because that's one of my big issues. The other issue is, as Mr. Suro said, please make sure your contacts for on Genesis are correct. Because if I have somebody sick or somebody hurt, I like to get in touch with somebody right away. I don't want to go through various channels. Again, I'm very accessible. I answer my emails. Any issues, please let me know. That's my spiel.
Thank you. So, and just to reiterate, those contact numbers are really, really important. God forbid there should be an emergency and a number is incorrect. It, sends a chill up Miss Manchi's spine.
The other thing is, I forgot to say, if there's any question whether you might be sick later in the day or you're not feeling well the night before, please don't come to school. We'd rather you stay home, see if something's going to happen, if you get better, but we don't need sick people in school.
Now more than
right,
ever.
Mr. Suro, especially during this time.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's something that I missed before, and thank you, Mrs. Manchi, for bringing it up. We're a very large school. We have almost 1,100 students and a tremendous number of staff on campus. And again, safety, making sure everyone feels safe and is safe, in order to learn is our priority. That's a number one priority. And we need to make sure that if we're not feeling well, we don't come to school because we don't want to put others in jeopardy. So if you're not feeling well, please stay home because the last thing we want to do is bring something into the school and just have adverse effects for everyone else. So thank you, Mrs. Manchi, for reminding me of that.
And again, Ms. Manchi, I'm sorry that I skipped over this slide.
That's all right, no problem.
Okay, so let's go back to where we were. I think, Mr.
Yep.
Searle, this is where we were.
Yes. So one of the great things that we've done, and we're going to continue to work on our schedule. We have big plans for it in the coming year. But one of the things we did get to do this year is extend or increase the amount of instructional minutes per period for our students. So we went from 42 to 46 minutes, and 4 minutes adds up. It doesn't seem like a lot, but that's an extra 20 minutes per week times the number of weeks in a month times the year, and you get the picture. So we're having 46-minute periods, which we're very excited about. Again, like I said before, 4-minute passing time. We are having homeroom. Some individuals are used to having homeroom to start the day. We actually have it after first period because we want to make sure that anybody who may be late, and we don't want anyone to be late, students. We'd like for you to be on time to school every single day. But we do know that certain situations come up, and we've put homeroom after period 1 so we can make sure that we get important information out to everybody at the start of the school day. Announcements are important to us. That's how students learn important news from administrators and staff, important information about clubs and sports, and anything else related to student culture and climate and clubs and sports. And also, one of the big things that we do, and we found tremendous success with, is mindfulness in the morning. And we actually employ a program called Inner Explorer. And it takes students and staff about 5 minutes to practice a mindfulness routine every day. And we have found tremendous success with it. Actually, we had a kickstart at the end of last spring where we did 21 school day kickstart, and we increased our usage in Inner Explorer, not just students in the school, but also students, parents, and guardians at home by 371%, which is a tremendous amount. And we're trying to look at the data and looking at the kickstart and looking at the mindfulness use and seeing how that correlates to academic success for students. So we're really interested in looking at that. We're very big into data. Actually, we're actually bringing in a data program called Link It to our school because we know that data should be a part of driving decisions. And an easy decision is to continue to use Inner Explorer every morning for our students. So if you've seen, we've been in the news for it. We have a district mindfulness initiative that is really, really, really good. And all that to say is we'd like to start the day with making sure that students are informed and in a good place mentally to get through the rest of the day. Now, knowing that the COVID landscape changes, and again, you're going to hear this frequently, and I'm sure during question and answers, this will come up again. The COVID landscape is always changing. Cases are rising and falling. I do know that there's been an uptick in Bergen County and in Englewood, and we will continue to monitor that situation. In the event that we have to leave in-person schooling, we will communicate immediately and comprehensively with you because we want to make sure that everyone is aware of a transition that may happen. So at this very moment, we are planning to go back to school in full capacity with everyone wearing masks and following safety COVID protocols. But in the event that something may change, please know that we'll be very communicative with you. We will share as much information as we can, and we'll work to make any transition as smooth as possible. I think the biggest thing that we learned last year is making sure that students had a device at home and have access to Wi-Fi. And another big thing that we're going to ask our teachers to employ or continue to employ this year is Teams, because that allows a classroom to go virtual very quickly and allows students to access varying resources and materials for our class. So this is the schedule that we have. This is the in-person schedule, and this is what we're looking forward to starting the school year with.
And just to clarify for our freshmen, Teams is the Microsoft platform where students virtually come together.
Thank you, Ms. Seifel.
Okay. So I'll talk a little bit about this, if it's okay with you, Mr. Searle.
Absolutely.
So we have tutoring twice a week, and we have mentoring, and as Mr. Searle said, daily mindfulness. When we say mentoring, we mean mentoring, peer mentoring, teacher to student mentoring, school counselor, the zone. We have many opportunities for students to feel supported. And we oftentimes, there are guidance meetings, and sometimes the guidance counselors will join a team meeting or will go to a class in person and talk about various issues that pertain to each grade level. The zone, which we talked about, and we're going to have 2 members from the zone tonight sharing with us the depth and the breadth of the programming that they have to support all of us, the staff and the students. And last year we started a trauma-informed care, and trauma is always sort of a scary word, but now it's become more familiar to all of us in that there's been trauma that we've all experienced, or most of us anyway, during COVID. And we know the loss for families, we know loss for students has been really startling and surprising. The number of students who've lost loved ones, the number of faculty members who've lost loved ones and still present every day at school, knowing that they're carrying extra burdens, emotional burdens. So we've determined different ways to support them that may not be apparent to everyone at the start of the visible, but we do know and we do communicate in different ways to support our students. We have many different types of assemblies. We've done them virtually and in person, ways also to support students in their growth, their social emotional growth and their maturity. We have community resources from around the community who come in to really support us, and the clubs and the sports that Mr. Armental will talk to us. Well, the clubs, Mr. Searle may want to expand on now. Some of them are still, last year, a lot of them took place virtually. So it was pretty amazing that the kids really enjoyed the virtual clubs. I don't know as much, but they enjoyed the virtual clubs. And we'll hopefully have them in person. And if we need to go virtual, we'll continue to offer various clubs. And the sports, as we said, Mr. Armental will talk about that in a minute. We have, as Mr. Suro said, a freshman orientation on September 1st in the afternoon, where we'll give a guided tour, and we have different segments of that session planned for our freshman students. Okay. So learning, tips for success. And this goes to all of us about how do we organize ourselves to be the best learners and take advantage of everything that is offered in a school experience. The mission statement of the high school is empowering a culture of lifelong learners, not just for our students, but for our educators as well, through creativity, innovation, and inspiration. What we're hoping is that as we enter into this year, which is somewhat as confusing and new as last year was, because now we're back in person. And so how do I re-regulate or reorganize myself for this experience? So just be patient. We're all adjusting. We're all trying to care about one another. As Mr. Suro said at the beginning, that we are a caring community. If where possible, we want students to be actively involved. Now, we understand that everyone's not ready to be actively involved every day, but active involvement means thinking through what's going on in class and participating in various ways. The families at home can maybe help getting you organized in the materials. You know, where are you going to sit for your learning? Where are you going to study? Do you have light, and so on? And even if you have a more compromised environment at home, find your little special place, if you can, that brings you comfort and allows you to focus. Something that we saw that was a challenge during COVID was completing some assignments because of the challenges of the various, the trauma that some people were going through. Some students were holding down jobs, some students were watching siblings. But now when we come back full on, we hope that the completion of homework assignments won't be as daunting or as challenging. If you can figure out a way, establishing a nice relationship with the teacher sometimes takes time. But we know that, as Mr. Suro said, this is a campus where everyone is there to help. And the teachers have been absolutely amazing at going the extra mile of texting you via Teams, chatting with you at all hours of the day and night, just to help you succeed. So don't be hesitant. Now, if it's 3 a.m. and you're chatting them up on Teams, maybe don't expect a text back, but really communicate via the platform called Teams or an email. Not texting a teacher privately, but through one of those 2 means. that we have at our disposal. The EPSD, as I just said, is the email that you should use. And we're going to go over the code of conduct, which we want you to really consider and say, this is something that's there for all of our good. Mr. Searle mentioned the security issue. Some of the code of conduct deals with keeping us all safe. And so it's not frivolous. It's not us against the teenage population. It's all of us together trying to be safe. Dress appropriately. We still do have rules about how to dress, and springtime comes and we know sometimes people get more relaxed with their dress, but let's think about what's appropriate for school. And if we go to, and we will be using online learning almost as a hybrid opportunity. And there's certain etiquette that your teachers will talk about. And I know that you, if you were in middle school, you learned about that, and high school, we've been talking about that as well. So you want to stay connected, as Mr. Searle said, using that Genesis Guardian Parent Portal. And the portal, this is something that Mr. Searle mentioned, but this is a slide that you really want to take note of. You do not have access to the full comprehensive use of the Genesis portal unless you have completed these forms. Some of these are state mandated forms, and some of them are school mandated forms. I'm going to jump down to the nurse form, which is really critical. We want to know that everybody has their immunizations, with the various childhood diseases. We want to make sure that your photo release form is there. So if you're in a school photo and you've given us permission, if you haven't, it'll be there. And that's your prerogative as a family to decide whether you want that to be checked, release it or not. And look at all these other forms. So there's going to be a student handbook on there and the behavior guidelines. We need you as a family to maybe go over them and check that you agree. And then the full breadth of the portal becomes available to you. So this is really, really important, this piece. Please take heed of this, okay? In the technology use form, so that when you get your laptop, you're able to take full advantage of that as well. Okay. And I have little 3 tips. Set 2 or 3 goals for yourself and write them down somewhere. Maybe write them down and stick them on the refrigerator in your kitchen, or write them down and stick them on the ceiling in your bedroom. Something you can remember and think about. Gee, I said I was going to do this, and now it's October. How am I doing with that goal that I set? Use a planner. The freshmen will be receiving planners from the school. So until you get them, do something about using a planner to keep organized. And if you get confused or you're wondering, what should I do? Kind of find it within yourself to know who you're going to ask that question of. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be an adult, but find that peer who's going to be your buddy this year, or that teacher who seems to be, just in sync with you, and begin to develop relationships with these people so that you can have your go-to buddy, and be ready to challenge yourself. Every step of the way, it's a new challenge, especially freshmen, finding your way from one building to the next, going from upstairs to downstairs. The numbers just sometimes don't seem to be in sync, but one foot in front of the other, and we're all going to succeed. So those are just 4 tips for a good start to the year. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Seitel. So again, I'm hoping that everyone is hearing that we do value communication. We definitely value expectations, and parents, please take the time to, again, make sure that you're able to access the parent portal in Genesis, and that you review the information, especially the code of conduct, student handbook, with your child, so everyone is aware. It's kind of the expectations that we have for our students and our staff as we come back to school. Ms. Bender is one of our other supervisors in the high school. She's the supervisor of student affairs, and Ms. Bender is a professional, and she is a whiz when it comes to the student code of conduct and the handbook. And anytime that we have to deal with certain infractions, Ms. Bender is someone who kind of steps in and helps to remediate the issue and move everyone forward in a positive way. So she could not join us tonight. She sends her best. She has asked that, again, please take the time to review the code of conduct, student handbook. Again, these things can also be found on our website. Again, if you go to epsd.org, on the right-hand side, you click sites, you go to Dwight Moore High School, it'll take you to our main page. And then if you click menu, you'll go to students on the left-hand side, and you'll be able to see the code of conduct and the handbook. So parents, please take the time to review it. Students, please take the time to review it as well. And if there are any questions with that, you can reach out to Ms. Bender, and her email address will be provided at the end of this presentation.
Okay.
Identification cards, like I said, are very important. It's a security thing. It lets us know who is a part of our community and who is not. Students will be receiving identification cards at the beginning of the year. And remember, they must always be visible. They cannot be in your pocket. They cannot be in your backpack. We need to know who you are and who's in the building at all times. So once you come back to school, you'll get an identification card. And we do have lanyards that delineate what year the student wearing them is. Grade 9 wears teal, grade 10 wears black, grade 11 wears white, and grade 12 wears maroon.
Okay. I think Mr. Searle really hit home on this, that we really are keenly aware that relationship building and mindset is the onboarding to learning. So there's a huge emphasis on the social emotional well-being of students. And as Mr. Searle, we have a very high level mindfulness program, and that we will be sensitive to any trauma anyone is going through. Oops.
So at this point, I would like to introduce two members of the zone at the high school. We have Ms. Tamayo and Ms. Roston, and they're here to talk a little bit about the programming and supports that the zone has at our school.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, hi everyone. My name's Teresa. Like Mr. Sorrow say, I'm one of the clinicians from the zone. As a lot of you know from the middle school, we're very connected with the community of Englewood. We offer services at the Bergen Family Center and in the school as well. We're a school-based program. So our services range from offering mental health supports to career counseling to daily programming to just help the kids, especially during the special circumstance of coming back to a normal school year during COVID. So we really just want to make sure that you as parents know that we're there for your kids, and all they have to do is just walk to our room 237 in the North Building. And you can also reach us by email. Teachers can make referrals as well, and any student over 16 can sign for themselves for counseling. So we just want to make an emphasis on mental health supports. We know it's been a rough time. We know we're all struggling. We know this is like nothing we've lived before, and we all want to move forward and get through it. So we're here for you and for the kids too.
Okay. Thank you. Teresa, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, I think that's more what I mentioned, but so we do offer family and individual and group counseling throughout the year. Starting mid-September, we're going to be offering different groups, such as grief group, girls group, boys group, different groups that target different subjects. We do have a lot of supports within the Bergen Family Center. It's if you need help with food, if you need help with meals, any other type of help besides just school and school related things, as well as mental supports. We are the go-to. We also have clubs that we will be taking and different opportunities for community service hours and different things like that. I don't know if Amelia is still on, but Amelia's our youth development specialist, and she can speak more about the different clubs we offer. I see you, Amelia.
Hi, we have various leadership opportunities. We have the Gender Sexual Alliance. We have the Zone Advisory Committee. We have the EPIC program, which is a preventative alcohol abuse and substance abuse for in reference to prevention of underage drinking and substance abuse. And we have a plethora of leadership opportunities for our students to be able to put that on their college resumes in order for them to be able to not only have the experience to have a stronger college resume, but it also prepares them for when they are if they want to go into, if they want to be directly employed after high school, or like I said, go into college. And again, I'm the youth development specialist. So all of the programming that happens at the zone for our drop-in services, during the lunch hour, during the lunch periods, I'll be the one that's responsible for that. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Want to add one more thing, Ms. Itel. We do have bilingual counselors, myself and our other clinician, Mr. Eric. We are bilingual, so to our Spanish-speaking students, we can also help them. And I know that's really important within our population in the school.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
very much.
Mhm.
Okay, Mr. Armental.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I am Mr. Armental. I'm the athletic director at Dwight Morrow High School. Welcome to Raider Nation. That is who we are as fans and supporters of our athletic programs. There's my contact information, my email address, along with Ms. Kania, the athletic assistant over in the athletic department. We're located in room 153 in the North Building. And like Mr. Soro had said earlier, we are trying to create a presence on social media. We do have a Twitter account at DM Raider Nation, and try to tweet out as much as we possibly can in motivational forms. We're also on Instagram with the same handle of at DM Raider Nation. Can you go to the next slide, please?
Sure.
Our athletic philosophy that we are students first and athletes second. It is a privilege to participate in school-based athletics. Students need to make sure that they are eligible by earning 30 college credits each of the years, with the exception of freshmen. Freshmen, you are automatically coming into school, you're automatically eligible for the first semester. However, all students, in order to be eligible for the second semester of athletics, have to be on pace to earn 15 credits by the end of the first semester. So it is very important that we do take our studies seriously. As a department, we emphasize honesty, sincerity, respect for the game and our competitor, and integrity above all else. I'm sure that there are many student athletes that are on here that played last year in the year of 2020, 2021, understood. And I met with every single team and I told them, I don't care if you don't win a game all year. Being part of school-based athletics last year, especially last year, was just coming back to have that sense of community and to realize that you are a part of something bigger and making those sacrifices both on and off the court and field of play. And I thought the student athletes did a phenomenal job last year, and I'm looking for a similar experience this year. This year it's a little bit more open. We are going full tilt with all of our sports. We're excited for it to create another level of quote unquote normalcy, and we're really excited for what this school year brings. Next slide, Ms. Itel.
Sure.
Here are our athletic offerings by sport. If you did not know, we are currently in the fall season. Fall season just begun yesterday for everything. Everything is off and running. Football started the week prior. So just because you might have missed the first couple of days of athletics does not mean that you cannot participate. You can by all means participate. And I believe the next slide will take you through the registration process. So if you are interested in any of our fall offerings, please make sure that you begin to log into Genesis. Ms. Itel, can you go to the next slide? Yeah, there's actually two parts of the registration. There is the medical aspect that I work closely with Mrs. Manchi in making sure that all of the physicals are up to date and that the forms are completed. So if you have not had a physical within the past year on this pre-participation evaluation form, the PPE form, you need to make sure that you get one as soon as possible. And it is something that is completed by a physician. And like I said, it's valid for 1 year from the date of the exam. And as long as it's signed by the doctor and signed by our physician, you are able to participate. If you took a physical, say for those of you that might have played baseball in the spring, you had a physical right for baseball and your physical is now more than 90 days valid, you would need to complete a health history update questionnaire, an HHQ. And that is a one-page form that parent guardian would complete and submit back to Mrs. Manchi, that we would be able to update the system and you would be cleared medically. Unfortunately, no matter how much time that we have, everyone seems to be waiting to the last minute. I have physical forms right here on my dining room table that have to get processed, and we're getting them, daily. I'm making 2 and 3 trips over to our school physician to get them signed off on so that they can vary. Please, please, please get those forms in as soon as possible. You cannot be cleared for participation until those forms are submitted and checked off on by our school physician and updated in Genesis. So please make sure that you're doing that. I understand that it is, it's sometimes difficult to find a doctor. If that is an issue, I do ask that you just reach out to me, and I can see what we can set up by way of our school physician for that. Next slide, please. The second part of athletic registration is completing all the athletic forms on the Genesis parent portal. Again, this is a way very important for parents, guardians to be able to access the parent portal. If you do, when you do register online, you just need to go into the parent portal under student date. You click the forms tab and then select the athletic forms. Now, these are many of their acknowledgement forms, meaning that you have read off and you understand the steroid policy, the state steroid policy. You understand the state concussion, the risk associated with playing sports, eye injury, different things along those nature. It's all digitalized and something that we're trying to stay away from paper as much as we can. Putting it on there, it's a one-stop shop for you. It's nice and easy. You can click on the links, read through them, click acknowledge, and your digital signature is valid for that. So that's the athletic registration. It's something that is new. It was last year we started it. We accepted some paper form, but we're really trying to go as digital and green as we possibly can in the athletic department. Next slide. Safety protocols. Again, this is something that, it's new and it's changing, like Mr. Soro had said, on a daily basis. We do have anyone that participates in any kind of group setting. They have to complete a daily screener. There's a couple of seconds. A lot of kids do it on the phone. Coaches are checking them as they come in. That we are doing temperature checks. However, they're not being recorded. It's whether or not it's a yes or no. Did you have a temperature over 100.3? And it is required of every student athlete and coach for every practice, every day, anytime they meet. And some teams that are right now in the summer season, they're having double sessions. If there's double sessions, then it is expected that they would complete the COVID screener twice for each time that they meet. So we're really trying to, it saved us a couple of times last year where we had to do some contact tracing. It's an attendance record. It's just to make sure that we know who is where, just so that we keep safety at the forefront. And the coaches are required to sanitize all the equipment, all the shared equipment after each practice, again, with a district approved cleaning agent. Next slide, please.
Okay.
If I can just add one other thing, please, like Ms. Seitel had said earlier, please do not hesitate to reach out with any questions. My email address was there. Constantly, with the good old technology, we're constantly available. We'll do our best. We're a little short staffed. Our trainer had resigned, but we're in the process of having a new trainer, and he actually was able to start today, and we're getting his feet wet. So, please bear with us getting the information out with respects to the trainer. So thank you for that.
Mr.
Thanks,
Sir.
Mr. Armital. I think one of the cool things that I'm excited about, Mr. Armital started last year, was our esports team.
Yeah.
Mr. Armital, we want to talk a little bit about it. It was really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So our esports team, we started last year in the spring, and we're really excited. They did a phenomenal job. They were actually top 4 in our region, which is international. It includes Canada as well. They did a great job. I still don't understand many of those games, but hey, it's whatever works and gets our students engaged in our community and building community. We're really excited about that. We live streamed a couple of those games. So we're looking to continue to build that program. So if the physical athletics is not your forte and you're a gamer, we have a spot for you. We want to get as many kids involved in as many things as possible. So please definitely reach out if that's something that you're interested in participating in.
Thanks, Mr. Amatal. So we're getting closer to the end of the presentation. I just want to go through the last couple slides a little quickly, just because we do have our Spanish presentation at 7:30, and I do want to make sure that we have time to answer the questions that are in the chat. So this next slide deals with seniors and senior class advisors. Ms. Rockman is our senior class advisor. She was a co-advisor last year with Ms. Frangiosa. Ms. Frangiosa has moved on from the district. So right now, Ms. Rockman is the only senior class advisor. She does a phenomenal job with it. Her email address is located there. Again, this is recorded and you'll be able to visit it at tomorrow at a later time. And some of the things that they're working on right now are class jerseys, class sweatshirts, and prom. They do a tremendous job with it. And if you have any questions and you're a senior about senior level events, please reach out to Ms. Rockman. She's very communicative and she'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Okay, Mr. Suro, do you want to mention the freshman?
Yeah, so we had talked really briefly about it, and that, like I said, we will send out information this week about freshman orientation. We do want freshmen to come on campus. We have an amazing, beautiful campus, and it's big, and we want to make sure that freshmen have the chance to come and visit it, and to kind of explore and see where they'll be having their classes and become more comfortable on their first day of school. More information will be provided this week, so please, again, make sure that you check your emails. Again, it'll go out and post as well, and we're excited to welcome the freshmen to campus. And again, some of the questions that I'm receiving are regarding freshman laptops. We're working on a plan on that, and that plan will be shared with you as soon as we have it. We're working on it, and it should be ready by tomorrow. So if you're a freshman and you're wondering, when am I going to get my laptop, especially out of district students, please stay tuned, more information to come.
Mr. Searle, would you like me to open up the Q&A now and read some of the questions to you?
I have the questions.
Oh, okay, go.
Yep. So, and then once more, thank you everyone for being patient, participating tonight. We appreciate it, and communication is important to us. I've probably said that 1,000 times, and I'll keep saying it. And this presentation will be posted on our website tomorrow for you to revisit. So to get to some of the questions, if you have a laptop from JDMS, it's a district laptop, you can bring it to the high school. Students are not allowed to use personal laptops. We have a device for every single student in the high school. And if you need one, again, you can email Miss Beebe and we can put the request in. If you're a freshman, especially not a district freshman, you can hang tight because we will give you the information regarding laptops in the coming days. Again, if you have any questions regarding the parent portal, you can reach out to myself. Ms. Isahack is also a wonderful resource for that. District devices, we do expect them to come to school every day. Again, virtual learning has changed the landscape of learning forever. And we want to make sure that we utilize all the resources we have to comprehensively engage our students every day. So yes, if you have a district laptop, you should be bringing it with you every single day. Spoke about laptops for freshmen. If you are a grade 10 through 12 student and you don't have a laptop yet, please reach out to Ms. Isahack and we'll set you up. Student IDs and badges will be given for grades 10 through 12 on the first day of school through their homeroom teachers. We're working on a plan right now to see, actually to plan out getting freshman pictures taken and getting the IDs. That'll happen at the beginning of school. So freshmen, don't stress if you don't have your ID for the first few days. We're working on a plan for that. Obviously with COVID restrictions and minimizing individuals coming in contact with each other, just want to be able to make sure that we open the school safely and comprehensively. And if you're a freshman, don't worry, you will get your badge sooner than later, all right? There is a dress code. Again, you can go to epsd.org, click on the right-hand side where it says menu. The pull-down menu will come down and say Dwight Morrow High School. And then you come to our main page. And if you click sites to go to Dwight Morrow High School, then you go to our main page and you click menu. You're going to see a bunch of resources there. And one of the columns will say students. You'll be able to see the student handbook, student code of conduct, and you'll see information there related to school dress code. IDs we talked about. Devices, we talked about district devices versus bringing in personal devices. Personal devices are not allowed. ID pictures are going to happen. If you're in need of a new photo, you can stop by the main office your first few days of school and we can work on that. Scheduling is something that is almost done. We're hoping to have it tied up by the end of this week. And once it's completely tied up and checked multiple times, then we will release them through Genesis. So please be patient with us. We want to make sure that the schedule is done correctly. Obviously, you saw before that we have to pay attention to the NJDOE graduation requirements. So we're kind of just triple checking everything, and it will be available soon. And that'll be available on Genesis, and you'll receive an email and or informational blast when it's ready. Transportation. If you have any questions regarding transportation, please reach out to me at bsur@upsd.org, and I can put you in contact with the individual in our district who manages busing. Schedules, like I said, are going to be coming out shortly. Right now, we are planning on going fully in person. We are very aware of the changing COVID variants out there and all the implications of that, and we are fully ready to address those in any capacity when the time is right. So we follow the leadership of Dr. Belandi, who is our interim superintendent, who has a tremendous amount of experience, and we will be following his lead. Obviously, if Dr. Belandi feels as if schools should not be open for a variety of reasons, including COVID, he will make the wisest decision possible. Again, our priority is to make sure that all students feel safe and supported and secure, and that's the only time that true learning can happen. So we will continue to monitor that with Dr. Belandi and other state officials, and we will navigate that together, and we will communicate throughout the whole process. Lunch, you can't eat through a mask, so you're at least not yet. You're going to have to take off your mask to eat lunch. Obviously, we will have lunch periods. We have 3 per day, and at this point, lunch, you'll be taking off your mask. We have areas which students can break out to, especially outside if you would like more space. But during lunch, while you're eating, just like in a restaurant, you're allowed to take off your mask. School opens at around 8 o'clock in the morning. Students are required to be on time. Earlier the better. And school day, again, the schedule was posted. It's also on our website. The student is not feeling well, they should stay home. When it comes to what that's going to look like for work at home, please stay tuned. Like I said, things are changing very quickly with COVID, and we all know how quickly it changes in the state of New Jersey with Governor Murphy and his educational initiatives and philosophies and viewpoints. So right now, if you are sick, please stay home. We will work with you. We'll work with your teacher to make sure that you get the work that you need to stay on top of your studies. In the event that something does happen where we do need to do something different than in person, you'll have your district laptop and you'll be fully prepared for that. Again, we've already had 1.5 years of virtual learning. We've gotten pretty good at it. And in an instance that we need to make the shift, we will do that. Busing for AE students, if you have a specific busing question, please email me and I'll forward it to the transportation individual. Personal laptops are not allowed on campus. Ms. Thompson, you're very welcome. Clubs do meet in person. We have a variety of really awesome clubs, and we actually have a club fair, I believe, at the end of September, the beginning of October. More information will come on that. Anyone who is unfamiliar with the campus, please reach out to me. We have the ability to have you come on campus and take a tour with us. We don't want anyone feeling uncomfortable. So to the best of our ability, if we're able to, we'll be able to meet with you and kind of walk you around. The campus is big, but it is also something that's very manageable. And we have tremendous student leaders on campus and tremendous staff, and they're always willing to make sure that students know where they're going. And the first few days, getting reacquainted is going to be challenging, but we'll do it together. All right.
There's an example of mindfulness. Somebody's asking for an example.
Oh, an example of mindfulness. Okay, so mindfulness is very, like, I guess the SparkNotes version is making sure that you are in a mental space to understand what's happening in the day, to acknowledge your feelings, and to make sure that you have a positive mindset for the rest of the day. It's almost like refocusing and retuning yourself and making sure that you have an open mindset and that you are resilient and you're able to manage the day in the most emotionally healthy way. All right. If you're not feeling well, you have to stay home. There's just no questions about that.
And I see that we are going to be using lockers this year, right, Mr.
Yes,
Sir?
yes, we do. We have lockers this year. Obviously, we're a big campus. Kids go back and forth in different buildings, so backpacks are definitely a requirement. But we do have laptops. Genesis information. If you have any requests for that, please reach out to me, and I will work with Ms. Isak to get you that information. Right now, we're coming back as a full campus. All students are coming back on campus as of today. Again, things change, but that's the plan for right now. Do you show your vaccination card? We're not anywhere near that right now. We're not anywhere near asking for vaccination cards at this point, so you don't have to show that to us. The school laptop is an Apple laptop. Again, you cannot bring your own personal device. Schedules will be visible on Genesis, we're hoping by the end of next week. School supply list, anything that's related to high school, backpack, number of notebooks, a number of folders, obviously writing utensils, a binder is very important. And again, having that district laptop, those are some things that are really big for high school. If you have any questions regarding lunch applications, you can email them to me and I'll reach out to the person in the district who deals with those. Make sure that your information is updated in Genesis Parents. If it's not, please reach out to Ms. Isak and she'll update it for you. Lockers will be used. Class schedules will come out hopefully by the end of next week.
And the student says his or her parents aren't receiving emails, the information.
Sure. So they can send an email to myself or Ms. Isak, and we can get back to them on that. More details to come about September 1st orientation. Lunch is 3 periods. We have cafeterias in both buildings. And just like I said, we are going to be having lunch in lunch rooms. We'll be utilizing outside spaces as well. But everyone has to eat, right? And people go to restaurants and they have the masks off when they eat and they put them back on when they leave. And that's how we will operate. Hybrid right now, we're not anywhere near that. Once we have more information about whether that's going to happen or not, we will be providing that. Freshmen schedules and counselors will be available in Genesis, most likely to end of next week when the schedules are finalized. You can go to epsd.org. That'll take you to our district website. And if you choose the menu there, it'll give you all district information. If you go to the right again and you click sites and you click Dwight Morrow High School and you go to menu there, you'll get information that's related to the high school. Breakfast is provided in the morning. Students will be allowed in the building. That is something that we have started last year at around 7:30 for breakfast. School supplies, we went over that. Ms. Voorhees, you're welcome. Thank you for joining the presentation. And IDs we talked about. Cell phones, listen, we're a high school. We all know who has phones. Adults have phones. We're always on them. I'll tell you the simple and fast rule for cell phones. They should not be used during academic classes. Your sole focus, especially coming back and having the blessing of coming back to school, should be on your teacher and instruction. Phones are allowed, but they're used between classes, before and after school. All right. Mr. Armental, question here. Do you need a physical form for esports?
No, technically you do not.
Okay, thank you. And
However, Mrs. Manchi might beg to differ in saying that your physical should be updated. It doesn't hurt to have one, but you do not need a athletic physical for that.
Okay, perfect.
Mr. Suro, just a reminder, it's 7:43.
Yes, we are going to move on to our next presentation. I guess we had a lot of information and we're long-winded, but we wanted to make sure that everyone felt comfortable with the information that we presented and letting you know that we're super excited to come back to school and we're looking forward to seeing everyone soon. So with that being said, Daichi, we're going to end this presentation, and then in a minute or two, we'll start with the Spanish presentation.
Thanks, everyone. Very excited to see you on campus.